The dreaded "let's circle back next year" messages are now here. Not to date this episode, but winter isn't coming. Winter is already here, which also means the dreaded "let's circle back next year" messages are here. Now, a few things to remember. Budgets look different the last month of the year, and budgets also look different at the beginning of the year, which means timing is everything. But so are your needs, and so is the budget. Sow seeds and nurture like you're an insurance company. And lastly, money is the same whether you get it now or you get it next year. Connecting one human to another with vulnerability and authenticity is a key to human well-being. A modern approach to mentoring, one that creates a mentoring program that really matters, has never been more important, especially in the digital HQ. Augmenters, hosted by Julie Meyer and Jimmy Egerton, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Entrepreneurs Julie and Jimmy, who care deeply about human well-being and bringing more connection to the workplace, dive into mentoring and exploring ways to augment and refresh the mentoring movement using 8 core principles that weave relevant spirit guides and diverse guests. Julie and Jimmy use humor and practical tips to help mentors and mentees get further, faster together. You can listen to Augmenters wherever you get your podcasts. I think it's humorous how every year so many businesses have this Y2K moment. And for those Gen Zs, look it up. You have this Y2K moment when the digit changes in the year for sales opportunities. That if you don't close the deal before 11:59 on 12/31, all the work is now magically null and void. Please do me a favor and just save yourself the headache, the heartache, and the stress. And stop thinking like that. Last year woes equals New Year wins, says the optimist. Whether you have a strong quarter 4 to end the year or a game-changing Q1 to begin the year, at this point, honestly, it's all the same. Let's just go get this bag. I do have one question for you, though. How do you look at a quarter tank of gas? You either say you're fine and don't sweat it, or you look at it every minute and not wanting to take the risk, and you go to the gas station the first chance you get. You see, when it comes to folk with budget for the last month of the year to spend, find those who are willing to continue to drive to get to their destination faster and not taking a pit stop just because they're at a quarter tank of gas. At the same time, respect those who are wanting to be more conservative with their fuel until things reset and fill back up. It doesn't mean they wouldn't be open to talking with you later. It does mean I'm at a quarter tank of gas, and unlike this person, I don't play around. Hit me up next year. Hit me up next quarter. Hit me up next month. Literally hit me up in a few days. I switched to another calendar year, or my physical year is different. Let's talk then. Some people drive playing Life is a Highway. I want to ride it all night long. And others drive playing Take Me to the Gas Station. Look, I'm not judging your taste in music, nor am I judging whether you keep going when you hit a quarter tank or you go to the gas station when you hit a quarter tank. I'm inviting you to consider stop doom sailing to end the year and stick to the fundamentals to close the deals the right way.
What's up, digital world? You're listening to the I Digress audio experience with Troy Sandidge. Social media, marketing, storytelling, business, culture, and more. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
This is the time of year where everyone tries to close out clients, reflect on the year, and also the time of year where everyone sets their goals for next year. You know, New Year's resolutions. I won't touch it, at least not this episode. I digress. I've been thinking really hard about this year, and I've talked about this on various episodes of how I've grown and evolved and changed and modified myself and what I pursue and the mannerisms and the strategies and the tactics of how I acquire, of how I position myself, of how I talk about myself, of how I see myself, doing the very deep introspection work, right? And I just want to share with you my 2023 core objectives. It's very simple. It's 3 things. I want to focus on increasing profitability, productivity, and performance. If I increase those 3 things consistently at a somewhat steady pace, I know I will achieve everything I want, from being more physically fit, mentally fit, profitable in all my sectors of businesses and revenue streams. I will already have allocations for vacations and mental rest days, be able to spend money on different things that I've been wanting to spend money on for a very long time, allowing me to invest more, allowing me to pay to delegate and expand my team, and various other things that I have for my personal self and for my business. The secret to driving your business forward is finding the discipline to focus on the key priorities you need to tackle while getting the right support for the things others can do for you. You can get the support you need without breaking the bank through virtual gurus. They match you with skilled remote administrative talent, and you pay only for the hours you need through an affordable subscription plan with no long-term commitments, with no recruiting costs. You can build the support team you need while keeping your operation lean, saving up to 40% compared to traditional hiring costs. Virtual Gurus is on a mission to provide work opportunities to underrepresented communities in the United States and Canada, giving you access to an incredibly diverse talent pool. They can match you with remote assistants who have a range of skill sets, including bookkeeping, data entry, sales and marketing support, email and calendar management, and much, much more. Work with one assistant, work with several assistants. It all depends on what you need. Start getting the support you need today. Book a free consult at thevirtualgurus.com/I-digress. That's thevirtualgurus.com/I-digress. All one word. Now, how will I achieve this of increasing my profitability, productivity, and my performance? It's very simple. Reading, being intentional, being accountable, saying less and doing more, and using more tools and embracing habit stacking, more discipline, and setting healthy boundaries, investing more in trainings and delegation, understanding psychology and behavioral science, consumption of different things from different individuals that can give me the insights to scale even the more. Whether that's through reading a book, I have one, Strategies Up. Whether I listen to a podcast, you're listening to it right now. I digress. But obviously, I am not the only one, and I would never tell you to not listen to everyone else. There are so many resources at your fingertips at a simple scroll and a push of a button that can activate 5, 10, 15, 20 years of experience into a condensed 30 minutes of listening, or 4 hours of watching, or 8 hours of listening on an audiobook to get you to where you want to be much faster than if you would have went it alone. Now, the truth is, regardless of your ability, how you learn, your insecurities, whether you're dealing with imposter syndrome or your lack of education or your socioeconomic status or your level of neurodivergence or current overall status right now, you can become who you need to be starting right now. Don't let no arbitrary digit change magically give you the power to do what you need to do. It won't, because most New Year resolutions fail. Let's keep it real. They fail. Why? Because we're so hyped up and we're passionate in the moment. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month to 3 months go by, and you find yourself not doing all these things you have posted boldly and proudly with conviction, blind conviction, I might add, across all social channels and sharing with your family and your peers. And then you have to deal with the shame of not getting to where you want to be. And you wonder why. Because you bet your change on passion when you need to bet your change on discipline. Whew. Come on now. You see, the growth you want to achieve is all based on the fundamentals of discipline, because there's seasons where you don't care. Do you think I'm about to keep it real. Do you think every time I have recorded an episode of I Digress that I was passionate about it? Now, don't get me wrong. My articulation, my tone of voice, and my initiative to convey messages and my own insights and thoughts and intertwine them together on this mic, record it, edit, and send it out for your distribution, which you listen to your ears right now, that's very passionate and that's very consistent. I'm saying the process of getting started before I press record. You think I'm passionate from the jump to do it? No. There are seasons where I am dreading the initial action because I don't have the stuff right now. But once I get started and I'm in it. That's where you have to learn. No book, no podcast, no video, no course, no strategist. Nobody is just going to magically make you more disciplined. Shoot, it takes discipline to learn the tools and the technique and the strategies and the tactics to become more disciplined, to activate the discipline you need to achieve the results that you want. But I can say that there's ways we can come together to figure ourselves out more, to optimize our performance, to boost our productivity, and hopefully increase our profitability. For starters, you want to do a SWOT analysis on yourself. We do this all the time for businesses. You may do it all the time for your clients and your customers. Have you done a SWOT analysis for yourself where you're looking at your strengths? You're identifying all your strengths. You are identifying all of your weaknesses as well. You're listing all of the opportunities and you are also listing all of your threats. And you put a list and you make sense of it. It's time to hold an internal audit on you. And if you need to pause this episode right now, write down your strengths, write down your weaknesses, write down the opportunities, and write down your threats. Let's go a little bit deeper than that. Write down your strengths that are going to help you make more money. Strengths that's going to actually help you connect and network. Strengths that's going to help you be a better leader or run operations better. And then flip the script. Write down your weaknesses. What prevents you from being the person you need to be to achieve the money that you want? Is it, well, I struggle with public speaking, or I fumble when I present things, no matter if it's Zoom or in person, or I'm too animated and I'm not as reserved as I should be. Or I never can pull the words that I need to express certain things. Maybe I'm not a great writer. Maybe I'm not a really good coder. Maybe I really am terrible at keeping on task. I get distracted too easily. Whatever those weaknesses are, be really honest with yourself and write them down. Now, write your opportunities and your threats side by side. What's preventing you from getting to the bag? The bag that you want. Is it family? Is it friends? Is it cheap clients? Is it a terrible website, a terrible brand? Is it that you don't know how to sell? Is it that no one is buying the product? What is it? But what are the opportunities? I see a potential client, but I don't feel like I'm ready for the capabilities to deliver on that. Well, instead of just sitting there and this is an opportunity and letting it pass you by, put in the work to figure out, how do I achieve what I want to achieve? That goes back to what I talked about at the very beginning of this episode. Now, after you do this SWOT analysis, and you hold an internal audit for yourself, this is where the fun begins. Develop a plan to enhance your strengths and compensate for your weaknesses and tendencies to actually move forward. Establish a cadence, build a habit, have a resolve. Establish a cadence, build a habit, have a resolve. Establish a cadence, build a habit, have a resolve. Then slowly but surely, start making changes to eventually get you to the place you want to be. No excuses, just produce. And also keep in mind that maybe the prescribed way doesn't work for you. Create your own lane. Build a car custom to your unique preferences and drive to the finish line. But keep in mind, you can't keep moving the finish line. Don't move it further because you're struggling and you're like, I don't want to feel like I failed and not hit my timeline. If it's that urgent, if it's that necessary, if it's that critical, I want you to stop being so quick to push things back because things get hard. I want you to have that resolve within yourself. Know that all the habits you have been building is bringing you to this point that you can make this work. Because it's time to win, and win on our terms. I don't want to let my weaknesses or my fears or my failures or time prevent me from getting to where I want to go. Because I don't know about you, but there's things I've been wanting for years that I've been telling everyone, this is my year. This is my year. And then that year turns into 2 years or 5 or 10. I don't want to keep saying this is my year and it ain't my year. Oh my goodness, the pandemic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a million things that will be out of your control every single year. And there'll be some years that will be harder than others on you emotionally or mentally or physically, or things that won't impact you directly but may impact your loved ones or your partner or your family or your business or your contractors within your business or your clients or your customers. There's always external factors that will always be in play that you didn't take account for. But we can still believe there's a pathway forward to get to our goals. If we have the resolve, if we built the habits, if we establish the cadence, and we push ourselves forward. I want you to win. If you haven't set your 2023 goals, now's the perfect time. You know, one of my goals this year is to increase my productivity, performance, and profitability. And sure, finding ways to grow better personally can be easier said than done. As we all know, New Year's resolutions end after the month of January. But I digress. But finding ways to grow better in business is as easy as HubSpot. With HubSpot's CRM platform, better value and growing better go hand in hand. That's because HubSpot lets you try before you buy and has lightning fast onboarding times, whether your business is going live tomorrow or went public yesterday. And with sales, marketing, and operations tools, your teams can stay connected and focused on reaching both your goals and your customers' goals. Learn how HubSpot can help your business grow better at HubSpot.com. The scariest thing you can do is convince yourself not to do something, not to even try, because of a hypothetical scenario that hasn't even happened yet. Apply to the job, ask for the raise, start the business, start the side hustle, post what's on your mind, send that email, press record, go live, send the proposal, set those boundaries, hire that person. You have a 100% chance at failure. You have a 100% chance of hearing no if you don't try. Now, ironically enough, your odds are 100% better if you do. I just want you to try and not be afraid to try again. We don't know how many attempts it will take to get you to where you want to be. But in the same manner, you're still going to pursue because you want to achieve the goal. You know, I think about all the episodes I've recorded and how I've changed. And most people know I'm an emotional person. So typically what I talk about is probably in line with how I feel in most cases, but I digress. But I think it's worthy enough to acknowledge that the more educated I became and the more focused I became and the more clear of an understanding I acquired regarding who I was, who I serve, what I am uniquely gifted to do, and the results I am actually able to achieve, and understanding how all of that combined with passion and purpose and profits align. I've spoken of where I was from the very beginning of episode 1 to where now is 2 different choices, night and day. And we have to give ourselves the permission to embrace change. We say it, but we don't do it. And we also have to give ourselves permission to not go back to who we were by default when things get hard. For example, when things get hard for me, I default back to this weird workaholic, worker bee. I'm going to shut off everything else in my life and just focus and be obsessed over this one thing until I achieve it. It's kind of like you get wounded and your body parts freeze up and focus on that one with all the intensity in the universe. And you know what? It's great to do that sometimes. I've had really good success throughout the years doing that. The problem is, at what cost? No time with family, no time with my partner, no time with friends, no personal time. My health declines. I'm mega stressed, but look at me. I'm working like a machine trying to get to this goal. Then I get to the goal. And guess what? An entirely new challenge comes right after. It's the same plot of every Power Rangers episode ever. Oh, we beat this big baddie. Oh, let's try again tomorrow. We got another one coming up. And I realize this isn't healthy. There's a way to grow a business, to build a brand, to go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 figure success without completely destroying who you are. But I acknowledge I'll be remiss that I don't talk and tie things together to what I see in the business world and focusing on these pillars of growth, right? And profitability and scalability and sustainability. All the things I ramble on about every episode, it feels like. We are humans. We are not machines. We have to take care of us. When we are growth minded, we can be obsessed, so obsessed that if we fail, that could break us. And we have to find a balance between pursuing these great opportunities despite of the hard challenges and obstacles. And when we do fail, because we will fail, have cushions, have people, have breaks where we can reset. I want to win. I want us both to win. Let's start winning. I'm tired of being so close and yet so far away. And then you hold on to the past failures. Instead, have short-term memory, learn from them, modify and adapt yourself, and go as strong and as passionate as you were from the beginning. That's also why so many businesses fail. They don't stay in the fire long enough. And this is a sign from me to you, even though I'm also talking to myself too. But I digress. To stay in the fire because you were built for this. You were given this idea. You were given this talent. You were given this problem-solving ability. And it's deserving to be used to not only benefit everyone else around you, but you in particular. Don't fight against what makes you great. Learn how to make yourself greater. Come on now. Come on now. Don't fight the thing that makes you great. Learn how to make the thing that makes you great even greater. And when you're able to channel that, harness that, and supercharge that, you will start seeing results in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Things will start falling in line just because you learn the strengths and the weaknesses of your superpower. And then you retool that to channel to focus on your opportunities and you avoid your threats. You hold yourself to productivity and performance standards with KPIs and OKRs that align with what you're trying to do. And you're pursuing unapologetically to achieve this goal relentlessly to make yourself more profitable, more sustainable, more scalable, and more successful. So I dare you, start now. Not next year, not multi-years from now. Start right now. Period. Full stop.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Digress. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Troy on social media? You can find him on all platforms at Find Troy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you're listening. Looking for a marketing strategist to build the structure, strategies, and systems you need to get the success you want and the ROI you desire in your business? Book a discovery call to talk with Troy at findtroy.com. And as Troy's philosophy goes, imagination is the engine, content is the fuel, social media is the highway, marketing is the roadmap, sales is the destination, culture is the GPS. Thanks for listening.